Alright, so there's a lot of new stuff in 2.2 and I kind of wanted to do some videos on some of the things that I've figured out how to work. I mean, a lot of these, if you've been in the editor for a while, then it should come pretty easy. Like this teleport orb is pretty self-explanatory, but I still think it would be fun to make a video on it, especially if you're like new to the editor. A lot of these things might not make a lot of sense, and hopefully my video could maybe help. So if you have any suggestions on what you would want me to try to make a video about, I can, I'm all ears. Just leave a comment. So with this teleport orb, um, it does what it says. It's kind of like the teleport portal, but a lot more flexible. So I'm in platformer mode right now. This is probably the best place to use it. So the easiest thing, or the easiest, most simple way to use this orb would be to make two of them. Whoops. Like this. I'll add some platforms here for the player to stand on. Oops. So now, all this orb really does is just teleport the player to the target group, and I would like my teleport orb to be blue, and then the other one to be orange, like portal. Okay, so this teleports, whoops, if I go to edit special, this teleports to target group ID 1. This is group 1. I don't have to do anything in here necessarily, so now if I click on the orb, I just teleport. And if I want to be able to teleport back, it's the same idea. I want this to, whoops, target group ID 2, and then this will be group 2, and I'll just teleport back and forth. And there's a couple other situational things here. They're pretty self-explanatory, and the tooltip is pretty helpful for it, but I'll go over a couple of them. So no multi-activate, that'll just make it so you can't teleport back and forth over and over again. So for like a platformer mode, if you want to lock off an area, that'll be really helpful. This will just flip the gravity after you teleport. And then the force, so these force checkboxes are also really situational. What this does here is if you're going in the teleport orb at a really high speed, you can set a limit to how fast you can go when you're coming out. So if I'm going in at a force of like 30, but I move the slider down here, then I'll come out at a force of 4.99 instead of 30. Same idea if I'm going in really, really slow. If I raise this up, then if I'm going in at a force of like 0.3, but I raise the slider up to here, I'll come out at a force of 4.75. And then static force, this will just make it, the higher I raise this up, the higher I will fly up in the air when I hit the orb, like that. But it only applies to the one that you are hitting, so I'd have to do that again to this orb if I wanted to do the same thing here. So that'd be kind of cool for like some weird physics level where, a kind of puzzle level. That would be cool. This will just change it so that it's additive instead of a multiplier. And then these are mostly camera controls. So smoothies will just make the camera go smooth. Ignore X and Y are also pretty self-explanatory. So if I check ignore X, then when I hit this orb, I'll only come out at the top, like that. And then if I hit ignore Y, it'll be the same thing. I'll just come out under this block here instead of over here. So that's pretty much the basics of the teleport orb. One more thing that I wanted to show though is the way this teleport orb works is you are only teleporting to a certain group ID, which means I don't necessarily have to have a teleport orb on the other end. I can make this group 1, and then when I hit the teleport orb, I'll just come through that portal. Whoops. I forgot to change the, there we go. Yeah. So that's it. Pretty much that's the basics of the teleport orb. Not too complicated, but still there's a kind of a lot going on, but not too much you have to worry about for the basics. I mean, These are mostly camera controls. Some of these are gameplay. And the tooltips are pretty helpful for those, I thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this was kind of helpful. I'll try to do more videos like this on more complicated things. I was thinking I would maybe do the gravity trigger. That one's also sort of self-explanatory, but you know, I haven't figured out how all these cameras work yet, so that's something I'm trying to learn. But until then, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave 2 likes if that's a thing you can do, and you know, I'll see you in the next video.